Welcome back to ADHD Whiskey. My name is Matt, and tonight we're trying a brand new limited release bourbon whiskey from a red waxed wearing son of a bitch bottle out of Kentucky. Maker's Mark 2021 limited release FAE-01, the license plate edition. To be totally honest, I'm not a huge fan of Maker's Mark products, and I don't know why. I'm just not. I just don't love them a lot. To date, my favorite Maker's Mark product is Maker's 101, and it's not even that great. For some reason, it's just a funky McFunkerton when it comes to Maker's McMarkerton, and I just don't get it. This particular bottle has been getting rave reviews on the internet by my peers and my foes. The show's 2021 limited release FAE-01, a fruit-forward expression with notes of tobacco and wood. I'll be the judge of that, so shut up. It's 110.6 proof, 55.3% ABV. It's got 10 virgin toasted American oak staves, so you know that they're pure and good. Let's pour this son of a bitch into a glass and let its ass rest for a minute while we deep dive into the details of this beehive. And by beehive, I mean bottle of bourbon. Because it's all the buzz. America, weak ass cork pop. At Maker's Mark, our wood finishing series is a purposeful exploration to push the flavor boundaries of our classic bourbon in truly pioneering ways. For the 2021 release, we set out to create an expression to pay homage to our unique copper still design and celebrate our non-chill filtration process. Our non-chill filtration process? Okay. I'm not a doctor, but if you're literally removing a process from your process, then you shouldn't call that a process. You're just not doing it. This approach retains more of the fatty acid esters in our bourbon, resulting in bigger fruit notes and viscosity. We believe this process is so important to the overall taste of Maker's Mark that we created two expressions to pay tribute to this. It's not even a process. You're not doing it. You can't call something you're not doing a process. If I called my dieting routine a process, people would be like, doesn't sound like much of a process considering huge, out of this world big, because I'm not doing it. The first release, FAE-01, is a fruit forward with more focus on barrel extractives. The second release, FAE-02, a different license plate, is texture focused to really highlight the Maker's Mark mouthfeel. It's round, creamy, and mouth coating. Enjoy. Rob Samuels. Distilled, finished, and bottled by the Maker's Mark Distillery, Incorporated. Star Hill Farm, Loretto, Kentucky, United States of America. Government warning, if you're knocked up, don't drink this, it'll harm your kid. It swirls in the glass fairly well. It swirls in the glass alright. Let's go in for a nose on this weeded virgin son of a bitch. Wow. I don't love the nose. It smells young. It's got the weeded funk. It's got the Maker's Mark weeded funk. It smells a little bit sour is what I'm getting at here. It smells a bit sour, and it's hard to get past it for me. And I can't help it. I don't love Maker's products because of the funk. I don't get it. I just don't get it. This smells like a raspberry cheesecake. It's got the sourness of a cheesecake with a little bit of crust. A bright, zingy red fruit raspberry with a sour cheesecake and then like a graham cracker crust. Yeah. If you smell this and don't get raspberry cheesecake, then you suck at everything that includes smelling whiskey. You're probably good at way more important stuff though. Like actual real stuff that makes you smart and worthwhile. And while I'm sitting over here being huge and thinking about cheesecake, I can't get past the cheesecake to think of anything else. The cheesecake isn't fresh though. The cheesecake smells like it's a little bit old and it's taken on a little bit of mold maybe. Maybe a little bit of heat got to it. You left it out on the counter while you went to the store for 6 days and came back, and then it was still on the counter in the heat, and you're like, should I eat that? I don't know. Probably not a good idea. The nose is borderline good, but repulsive at the same time. And I can't help it. That's just the way I feel about it. Almost too sour. It almost smells too sour for me to really love. If you're a Maker's Mark fan, then don't take this review or tasting to heart, because I'm just a guy who has a hard time really enjoying this wheated bourbon from Maker's Mark. It's probably just me. When it comes to bourbons, there's a lot of bourbons that I could just smell all day and just love. Just love it. This one could be that if it weren't so sour and off-putting, if that makes sense. The fact that it smells gross kind of ruins the fact that it could smell good if it didn't smell gross. No matter how much I smell it, I'm not going to be a huge fan of the nose. Let's go in for a taste to see if the palate ditches the sour stuff and just gets right into the goodness. Let's try it. It's creamy and sour. Milk duds. I get some milk duds on there. Some malted milk balls. Milk duds. I can taste milk duds. The sourness carries through from the nose to the palate. It's very light on the palate. It's not overwhelming at all. It coats the mouth rather well. It's pretty oily, pretty viscous. The finish is brown sugar and pie crust, but the palate is a little bit of bitter oak and sourness that is a little bit off-putting to me. It's just not my favorite. It's not my favorite. I was honestly hoping that this bottle would change my mind on the Maker's Mark brand. The flavor profile and nose on this is just a little bit off-putting to me. It's not something that I enjoy a ton. It's not something that I would ever love in a blind flight. When it comes to the 2021 limited release Maker's Mark FAE-01, I am not a fan. If you're a huge fan of Maker's products and you loved all their previous releases, then for sure, definitely try it or buy it. If you're on the fence and you're not quite sure if you like Maker's products or not, I would say try it before you buy it. If you are not a Maker's Mark fan and you're looking for the Maker's Mark product that's gonna like turn the tides and make you a huge fan, it's not it. It's sour, it's funky, it's unappealing, it's a little bit off-putting in just a weird, funky way that's like sour and moldy to me, personally. I just don't love it. You will hang around my bar for a while because I will not drink you. I will just leave you there, hanging, just evaporating slowly. My name is Matt, this is ADHD Whiskey, and like I always say, keep your head in the clouds, but your mind on being open-minded and not giving up on a brand just because you didn't like their stuff before. Continue to try stuff periodically from that brand, hoping that that brand has changed or you have changed. Maybe your palate was shit before, or maybe their product was shit before, but maybe the product or your palate has improved and it will be enjoyable for you now. Maybe it will be enjoyable for you now. Unfortunately, today's not the day for Maker's Mark because either my palate or this bourbon still shit. Yikes, yucky and yucko. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment below. Do you like this weeded funky bullshit? Or are you on the same boat as me, where what the heck are they doing and Icky McIckerson?